Alright, we are live. Good evening, or good afternoon, or even good morning, depending on where you are. Hopefully, everything is working. So, as the title obviously displays, we're going to be doing another drawing stream, in large part since I still haven't fixed things on computer enough to hold on, to do my Dream Tank match stuff yet. Again, hopefully I'll be resolving that soon, but we're not there yet. So drawing it is, and the last stream went over pretty well, I think, and it was fun. So I figured we'd do it again. I'll go for about an hour or so. I hope the audio is okay. I think it's on the right device, but anyway, if it's not, someone can let me know. And so I'm going to switch now to the other camera, which you could actually see in the corner here, since that one is positioned, to look at what I'm actually going to be doing, since that's more relevant to the stream in my face. Let's swap that over. There we go. A little bit of a glare, but that should go away once I get off get onto actual pages. I think it should look better once we're on that. Right? Yeah, okay. So, I have a lot of random sketch paper stuff here. Okay, that's not good. Okay, so that's what I'm going to have to get back to next time. So yeah, so drawing's been going pretty well over the last, hello Tank Destroy, hello Diesel as well. Thank you for coming. So the drawing's actually been going decently well over the last, I guess, few weeks until I last did a drawing stream. Still plenty of work to do, but definitely improving. I could show some of the better sketches I've done over the last few weeks. I don't know how long ago these all were. I haven't done the math, but this is from the last stream we did. So that was day 116. So now we're at day 149 or so. So give or take a month, a little over a month since the last one. So these are what we did last time. This one came out very nice, and this one came out a little bit wide, but fine. I can show free run that I did the day before that. That came out pretty well. And a couple of sketches of one of my own characters. Yeah, I don't know if I've posted my best sketch that I've done so far, I think. I don't want to belabor the point too much, but I do want to... is that before the stream? Maybe? Might have been before the stream. Hold on. Where was that good one? Where was it? Where was the actual really good one that I did? No. There we go. This is my best sketch that I've done to date, probably. Factoring in the color as well. It's a character from Shirobako, which I watched a few weeks ago, as you might have expected, since I made a video on it, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago now. So, obviously, these are from reference. It's obviously much easier still, so that's just like a screenshot of the show that I took, and then drew it and colored it over the course of 2 days. That's why I have 2 days listed on top there. And more recently, what did I do recently? I was drawing some departed VTubers as a tribute, since they were going to be graduating soon. So I did a Mume, I did a Gura, a couple of them over the last few weeks or so. So those came out pretty nicely. Working on another one that I'm going to have to continue off stream, since that's not Girls Und Panzer related. So I'm going to make this a little bit easier to see everything. And so let's label this. Let's see if if the camera gets in the way too much, I might have to move it over. But for now, it's okay, I think. So day 149. Day 149. I messed that up already. I want to keep my labeling consistent for my own personal preferences. Here, whatever. Day 149. Day 149. So obviously, like we did last time as well, if there's any particular character you'd like me to try and draw, feel free to make a suggestion, since there are plenty of Girls Und Panzer characters to do. So there's no shortage of options. Last time, like you saw, we did Yukari and Yusu sketches. So today, could be somebody else. If no one decides it, no one suggests anything in the next couple seconds, I guess I'll pick somebody and go from there. And like I said, we'll go for about an hour or so. Maybe a little bit more, and based on how it's going, based on how the sketch is coming out. Also, at some point, I will try and get a better light in here because I see this, even with the different angle I have now, there's still a noticeable shadow when I move over the page here. So it's going to be a little bit awkward, but I'm going to try and get a light that's not above and behind me in a really terrible spot in the future to try and get something like more like to my side here or right next to me so I can get proper lighting on the page while I'm doing stuff. Okay, Darjeeling is definitely an option. I haven't actually thought about whether she'd be easier or harder than some of the other ones. Because a lot of it comes down to, with Girls and Panzer characters at least, it comes down to mostly the hair that determines difficulty. Because the outfits are usually pretty simple for the most part. Although I've had a decent success so far in terms of drawing clothing compared to like physical features, I guess. So I'm just gonna pull up a illustration of her so I have something on hand to at least broadly reference. So I have that to help. I don't think her hair is the hardest one. It's not like the hardest hairs are like really wild ones. But there's like a lot of stuff going on. Here we go. There's Darjeeling on the wiki, where it has convenient art right there that I could use. All right, so I guess I will start. Darjeeling was the first suggestion. We'll start with her, and then I'll see how many we could get to over the course of the stream. So if I can make this picture bigger. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look actually that bad. Because shorter hair is always a little bit easier just because there's less to deal with. So, okay, we just figure out if this angle is actually going to be a problem or not. Because I have the neck of the webcam holder kind of like in front of me again, which makes it a little bit awkward, but if I could move this here, I can get my hand in pretty well. Yeah, it's not going to be too bad. I can go, whoops. Sorry if I made a weird noise, I just knocked into the microphone. Trying to maneuver my arm around here. I can even get around the webcam holder, so that's fine. All right, we'll be fine for now. So, like I think I mentioned in the last video, when I started doing these, when I started drawing, I was trying to do more of like the classic that you see a lot, like the like head circles to do. I don't know how to describe it. I was doing them earlier in my drawing a lot more. Where was that? I can see it better. I don't even know how to describe it anymore. Where you do a full head circle, then kind of draw lines in between it, like something like this. It's not a good one, but when I try to draw the lines to kind of figure out the face angles, but I didn't really. Those were kind of working not as well for me, as opposed to just doing the lower part of the head, like kind of the jawline, and then basically drawing the rest of it over that. So kind of like this, where you just draw, because a lot of the head gets covered up by the hair anyway, so you don't have to draw it, or you'll have to cover it over or erase it later on. So when you can do something like this, there's a little bit less to do and fewer things to mess up, I guess, arguably speaking. So we're gonna just use as a reference one of the basic character images of her. Welcome everybody who's joined in the last couple minutes. I'm going to try and glance back at each other. The problem is right now the art stuff is here and the computer is on my right over here, so I'm going to have to actually turn my head to see anything in the chat, but I'll do my best to check back every couple minutes at least, so I don't miss anything if anybody has a question or wants to say something or whatever, so that it can be as interactive as possible while also getting stuff done here, since it's already been 10 minutes and I haven't done a whole lot yet. So yeah, at some point I have been doing a little bit of working without references, or direct references at least, but it's going to be a while yet till I really reach that point, I think. Just because I don't really have time to do a whole lot of writing anyway. And, I'm drawing. My brain is getting cross-wired already. We barely just started. But yeah, it's a little bit off-center. But I can't afford to do that much drawing. Also because I'm going to be spending some of my drawing time doing other stuff soon. I know anyone who's watched my videos probably knows I have a manga coming out at some point, hopefully soon. But it's been a little bit delayed on account of personal things on my artist end. that he can't really avoid and I can't do much about. That's a little bit long. So that slowed it down a lot because he has to prioritize, other work right now that pays him now because I already paid him for stuff so that he could cover his bills and all that to make ends meet while he has a relative who's getting a lot of medical treatment. But I suggested to him that I could try and do my own basic rough sketches of some of the pages and give those to him first, and then he could kind of use those as a guide point, I guess, for drawing the actual pages, which I didn't know until he told me, that's apparently how they actually do it for a lot of manga in Japan. So it's a more authentic way to do it anyway, where I'm going to try and draw rough panel sketches and give them to him, and then he will take those and make it into finished actual pages, basically. So I'm going to spend a lot of my drawing time doing that going forward, at least for a while, and less on just practicing, more, I guess, getting better at more detailed stuff and things like that, because getting the manga done is kind of important, because it's kind of backing up a lot of my projects right now. And it'll be a fun thing to try also, as another type of drawing. Funnily enough, I got inspired to do that from watching Shirobako a few weeks ago, because I saw, you see in the show how anime is produced, and one of the parts of that is the director actually makes storyboard sketches. The director isn't an artist usually, so they make storyboard sketches, and they basically hand those over to the art team and all that to then turn into the actual, I guess, they're not panels there, but I guess for the animation stuff, and then that gets passed on to the animators themselves, etc. So I figured if it works there, why not try it for manga? And apparently that's what they do in a lot of places. So I'm going to be trying that out. Maybe I'll share some of those at some point. They're not going to be much to look at, because those are going to be... is there a protest outside? Whatever. But those are going to be, very, very rough. Mostly just not quite stick figures, but it's coming out a little bit messy, but whatever. It's a warm up. But those will be very rough and very just meant to give him a basic guideline for where to start on the actual stuff, and hopefully that'll help speed things along, because he said it does take him a lot of time to figure out proper angles for stuff. And so if I could save him a few hours by giving him at least my interpretation of what it might look like, then that could really help him along and help all of us along in getting this done faster. So we'll see how that works. That's coming out weird. So we'll see how that goes. But it also means if I ever meet the director of Girls Und Panzer, I'm going to have to thank him twice, both for making Girls Und Panzer itself and for Shirobako, since that gave me the idea to actually suggest this to my artist. So I'm going to owe him double time. He actually is on Twitter, but I don't know how interactive he is with people, and obviously only in Japanese, but Google Translate is my friend, so I could potentially try something out like that and see if he responds. It'd actually be kind of cool if I could maybe get him one day to interview or something. That'd be kind of neat. But that's a far in the future kind of thought, and also that'd be a lot to organize. I'd have to definitely by myself someone to live translate that, if that even could potentially happen, since I don't speak Japanese yet. I'm learning a little bit. I'm trying to do some Duolingo. I also do 10 minutes a day, so I'm not really getting very far very fast, but I am making some progress. I know a few words now, beyond just, the obvious ones you learn from just watching anime and all that. So, let's see. Yeah, this angle was a little bit awkward, but we'll keep with this for now. Maybe I'll switch it in a little while. I don't know how to get a good angle with the camera for getting the proper angle of capturing the art stuff while also giving you decent lighting. The last time I had it just direct above it. Now I have it kind of off to the side, I think. So I don't know what the best. You feel free to let me know if you think there's any suggestion of better angles to try for capturing this, since I don't really have a proper studio or anything. I just have my desk and it has like a sidecar kind of deal, which is what the little stand and the little sketchbook are on right now. It's just coming out. A little bit wider than I wanted. That's fine. Doesn't need to be perfect. I'm not here claiming to be a professional yet. If ever. What is that? What is that mess? Why is it not coming out sharp? I want it to just be a sharper angle there. Yeah, true. Also, I will probably post on a community post the actual, finished page once the stream is over. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow. There we go. That's better. So I'll be able to see a little bit better what we actually did, how it came out. Okay, so yeah, the hair is a little bit wider than I wanted, but it's fine. Again, I'm not here trying to be 100% perfect anyways. Like, if I was going to make this like a longer project anyway, I would also go redraw some stuff. I would also like go darken the lines afterward, like you saw on the more polished stuff that I did, where I kind of go back with like a heavier pencil, since I don't have like a marker, which I might get one at some point soon, to do that, and kind of just make the everything a little darker. Yeah, this hair is coming out. I think it's way too high. They have big foreheads, but they're not that big. Not that. The foreheads aren't supposed to be that high. Not that long, rather. Let's rein it in a little bit. Here we go. It'll look a little better once you get some like the braids in a little bit. We can see more of it's supposed to be Darjeeling hair as opposed to like just wild. Or not. Yeah. Yeah, because you can see. Oh no, I can't zoom in any further. That's annoying. So you can't really see that much of the lower hair. It kind of goes in like that. And I guess these braids are a little bit harder to illustrate than it first looked. Just get the neck in somewhere so you have the reference for that. Yeah, something doesn't look right. I think the hair came out a little bit too wide up top here. Maybe I'll try and redo some of that to keep it a little bit more in line with what it's supposed to look like. Here, kind of like that, like there. This, like that, more, and then like that. Yeah, that looks a little better, and that lets me also get this a little bit less high. Here, and then just bring that around to there. Now we have these little bits go off to the side there. Yeah, this is also out too wide, I think, as well. Let's retool this a little bit again. I hope this is not boring seeing me redo some stuff here. But I try not to be perfectionist when it comes to this stuff, because I know I'm still, you can see on the days count, I'm still, not even half a year into this yet. So I can't expect from myself even that much, especially considering how much I'm doing, on a daily basis. But obviously we all want to, make things as good as we can when we're trying anything, whether it's a new skill or an old skill, obviously. So it's just one of those things. Goes around. Kind of goes around, almost like a heart shape, kind of. Just noticed that now. I don't know if that was intentional in terms of the design or just kind of happened that way. It's actually interesting. I never thought about it that way. I like these braid bits kind of. Kind of go in like that. Got another one of those here. Top that's coming out. And we got some more of these. I don't know if you guys could hear that. There was definitely a protest outside right now. Feels like every week there's at least one or two. I'm tired of it. Another one. It definitely looks more like her now that we have a lot of these braid parts in. Yeah, maybe while we're here I could try to do some of the outfit, because I told you I've had better luck with clothing than I have with actual character figures for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because it's easier to just do visually in terms of managing the lines involved. I have no idea. If anyone has an idea why it would be easier, feel free to let me know, because I don't know. But it often comes out looking better. Maybe I should become like a specific artist to just draw outfits, or at least basic ones like that. It's like this kind of. Oh, yes, really needs to go more thicker V. Yeah, this kind of goes to that, and up there, and round. And of course, for anybody who missed the videos I've done on this drawing journey, I guess, of mine, these were very much inspired by the PewDiePie videos he did like a year or two ago now, where he decided to learn to draw by doing 10 minutes of drawing per day or more. And he got a lot better, a lot faster. I'm pretty sure he has a little more of an innate talent than I do, plus a little more time in his hands, I guess, than I might. But everybody has their own pace. Everybody has their own, I guess, goal with drawing. So I try not to compare my own progress to anybody else's, since that's the fastest way to get to madness in this kind of thing. If you just try and keep looking to other people and see what they do, and then compare that to what you're doing. Oh, that might be a little bit too thin, but that's not going to change that now. It's a little late to go back there. Anyway, also you can see on those videos too how how terrible I was at day one. So anybody who's thinking about starting to draw a little bit, you can look at that and see where I began, and just minimal time that I've been drawing, how far even I've gotten. So you could probably get at least as far, if not even further, if you also put in just like 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, which is relatively easy to do for a lot of people, not for everybody, obviously. A little more. I'm not going to try and do a full figures because they'll take up the entire stream, and also get much harder to do that stuff. I haven't gotten as good at full bodies yet. I've done full body stuff a couple times, but not a whole lot because it's hard. And also it takes a lot longer. So, and with minimal time, I feel like we're better off just trying to do something like this here. Sorry if I knocked the microphone again. I have an iPad off to the side that I'm using to pull up the character image that I can reference. I don't have to turn back to the computer every time, so I can have it in my field of view while I'm doing the little sketch here. I'm not going to try and do the whole logo, but I will try and get the coat of arms in here. There we go. That's where it would be if I was going to draw the whole thing, which I'm not really right now. That will a lot of detail. Yeah, it's easy to get frustrated when it doesn't look, how you kind of envision it in your mind at first. I guess so part of the reason I'm just doing it because I do enjoy it on my own, and obviously I don't have any plans to draw, as a career or anything because I have enough time to spend writing my stuff that I have to draw, but it is a nice skill to have, and obviously I can do stuff here, which is kind of fun. And I can help out my artist, like I mentioned before. So, all right, I'm not going to go that much further. But I'll try and get the shoulder in here a little bit. Okay, I think this will be good enough for Darjeeling here because the actual image I'm referencing, she has her arm, on her right arm at least, up holding a teacup. So I'm not going to try and do that right now, but I think this is not a bad sketch, and we still have at least half an hour time window for me to do something. So the second suggestion was Hosomi. She has this like the cinnamon roll hair, if I remember correctly, right? I think. Close. There's the search bar. I have no idea if that'll be harder or easier. There we go. Oh, I don't know. She has a full name. I don't know if that was ever mentioned in the show itself. That's cool. That's cool to find out. Learn something new every day. So yeah, let's see. There we go. You get a decent zoom in here. I'll take a second to look at that hair. Yeah, this could come out okay. This could also come out weird without the color, but we'll see how it works. Because she has like the cinnamon rolls on top of her head. So it'll be interesting to try. Yeah, the eyes are something that I would probably, if I was going to make this a more detailed, finished sketch, I would probably go back and redo those a little bit. Especially if I was going to add color to it, I'd want to neaten those up and everything. But it's outside the scope of this video, both because of time involved and because of the setup. I do still have to work around the camera here. But it's better than last time, because last time I had it just flat. I've also found that in a way the upward angle is potentially better sometimes. I don't know if that's a thing other artists, like actual artists, use, if they prefer that kind of setup, or if they like it flat on the table. But for me, I've found, at least sometimes, it helps to have it at an angle like this. It's better for the wrist, or just easier to visualize. I think I noticed that I was at a convention a few weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago only, and I didn't have a proper table to write on, to draw on, because I had a table with my books and stuff, and it was pretty full because I have a lot of books to sell. So I basically just propped up my sketch pad at an angle while I was sitting there during some quiet time, and drew, and it came out pretty nicely. I'll find what I drew on that convention day later. But I was kind of surprised how well they came out, considering, how little of a setup I had. And so I figured I would try it again elsewhere. Yep, I'm actually. I mentioned before, I'm almost at the half year point of doing this. Technically, it's a little bit closer to actually half year because I have missed a few days here and there because sometimes there just is no time during the day. But I've been pretty consistent for the most part, which I'm happy with. Okay, obviously, that helps with any skill. The more you do it, if you're consistent with it, then you have a better odds of actually improving. That's why I have to go to the gym more often than I do. But that also takes time and also more money. So I can't go to the ninja gym as much as I'd like to. I'd like to go more than once a week. But right now it's not feasible. So I do my best. Let's see. So try and go with the same expression she's got on the official art here. Get a little bit quieter. And she has more of like a bit of like a wild energy going, which considering Chiatan is appropriate. Yeah. Also, I will try and get the new video out on Tuesday this week, I think, because I was worried that I re-uploaded it again just to see what would happen because the first one got claimed, and I made no edits and I uploaded it again. And it's been like over 2 days now, and it hasn't been claimed yet. So if it lasts until Tuesday, I will I will just publish it and hopefully it doesn't get hit again. If it does, I've already started re-editing the video to try and find a way around those copyright claims and get something out by Thursday this week. Because it's annoying when I work on a video for a week and then all of a sudden it gets claimed right before I'm going to put it live. And it's on a copyright strike at least, so it's not a channel problem. I'm not worried about the channel or anything, but it's a pain in the neck when I have a video I want to get out, especially because I haven't put one out in like 2 weeks or maybe even longer at this point. And then it gets claimed by our good friends at Bandai Namco. So thank you to them for delaying the video again. Not the first time they've done it. Hopefully the last. But I'm not going to hope too much. So let's... Trying to do this to the art referencing a little bit of it at a little bit of an angle here, so I'm going to see if I can capture that properly or not. Something else I have to work on doing better is more face angles beyond just more or less straightforward. That's always going to be more of a challenge because you have to figure out the proportions right and how everything fits on the face when they're looking a different direction. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do it here, but we're going to try. Trying to keep the eyes level. It's also one of those things that's hard. It takes a lot of work to figure out how to do well, is just to keep things symmetrical and proportional properly. You want the eyes to be the same size, obviously, because that's how it is for most people in characters. Okay, don't let your phone or computer die on account of the stream. And obviously, it'll be watchable later if you want to catch up with it. And speaking of the eye, I think it's okay for now. Okay. Yeah, I think I mentioned last time too, something I noticed a lot is like you can really start to see which character you're drawing once you get to the hair. I think that just adds a lot of the character's like distinct look and personality also. So it's interesting. I don't know if that applies to people in real life as well in terms of how you view them and stuff, but it's kind of neat to note because I guess in the base sense, faces are not that different from each other, beyond some distinct features and all that. But when you have the hair, it just really adds to the whole look, and that's also why character design is a very important skill and a very difficult thing to be good at. If you have watched Shirobako, there was a character who was kind of thrust into trying to do some character designs for the first time, and they found it a struggle. So, but it is fun to be able to start from scratch and do something completely new without, as opposed to having to design something, or just draw something based purely on what someone else gave to you or whatever. Here, this one kind of goes all the way across. I think the protest is winding down. That's good. That's a good sign. I'm going to be hopefully. I'm going to plan to watch some anime while I'm eating dinner a little later. I have finished Space Battleship Yamato 2199 and 2205. For anybody who has seen it, who knows the two of them. 2199 was amazing, like 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 quality. The second one was not as good, unfortunately. I wish I could say it was, but it really was not. In many respects, I don't know if I'll do a video on that one. I want to do videos on 2199 at some point for sure, because I love that show. And I'm so far one episode into 2205, which is trending to be much better so far. So I hope it'll stay that way, so I can make videos on that too, because I like making videos on shows that I like, and as opposed to on shows that I didn't like, because it's just a lot more fun to me to make positive videos. Because if you want negative videos on stuff, you have most of YouTube for that, and I'm frankly tired of it. So, tails off a little bit like that, I guess. That's a little too high, actually. Let's redo that part. Let's redo this whole part, actually. Angle it more downward toward the eyebrow here to match the official art a little better. There we go. That's better. Then this one kind of comes down and around, and also kind of around like that, I guess. It's a little bit off, that's fine. I have heard there is a new season. I dropped it at season 2. I finished season 2, then I dropped Shield Hero because it was pretty terrible, in my opinion. I mean, actually, my first video on this channel might have been about how Shield Hero Season 2 was bad, because I was that irritated with it. So, Season 2 was bad, and then I just did not give me any reason to go back to it for Season 3, which I heard was better, but I don't know how you salvage that at that point, because I just was so bored by everything. Like, the characters were boring, the story got uninteresting, because it was very, very by the numbers, like, generic at that point. So nothing really intriguing anymore. So unfortunately, I have not kept up with it, and I really don't plan to unless I hear it's actually really good, but I really doubt it, and then I would still have to watch season 3 to go back to that, and I don't really feel like it. So maybe one day if I'm like bored, or if I get corona again one day and I'm sick in bed for 2 days, I'll watch all of that like I did with Sword Art Online back a couple years ago. Maybe I'll like it better if I'm sick while I watch it. But yeah, it's unfortunate because I liked that show a lot when season 1 came out, but then the cracks started to show at the seams pretty early on, like by halfway through season 1, and then I was still into season 2 because it was not bad enough to drop yet, but then season 2 hit and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm just done. I'm just done at that point. Let's leave this for now. Come back to that later. Because the problem with it was, it just like the interesting part of the plot was over after half a season, and from then on it was as generic isekai plot as it can be, and the characters weren't interesting any beyond what they were doing already, and it just felt really by the numbers, and it felt like a story where the author didn't really plan on the success that it got. So he kind of got, stuck making more, even though he wasn't really prepared to make more. If that makes sense. Like I've read some books like that also over the years where it feels like the author didn't realize it was going to be so big when it first started, and then all of a sudden it got big, and they had to write more, and they were not prepared for that. So with all my stuff, I always have at least a general idea because I don't plan to just write one book and see if it does well, then go more. I always have a plan for a whole series because I like finishing things. So I always know where it's going to wind up, at least in the general sense, and then I'll usually outline new books as I go, different pace with different series. But I just can't understand writing something and then not having any kind of plan post book one. And I don't know if that's the case with Shield Hero, but it kind of feels like it. And then it just gets boring. So unfortunately, there are a lot of shows like that, both anime and also like Western live action stuff. It just seems to happen way too often. But the industry is what it is. It's part of the reason why I'm happy to do things the self-published way, even though it has its own challenges. All right, it's coming out pretty well, I think. Almost recognizable as who we're drawing before I even get to the cinnamon rolls. So let's save my iPad tab over there. Oh. Okay. Also, at some point, maybe into future streams of this, maybe I'll try and find some like free background music or something, so you have a little more background noise when I'm just drawing and it gets quiet for a minute. I am realizing just now how it can get quiet if I'm not talking the entire time. That's why a lot of streamers and stuff, do have that sort of thing. The only problem is making something that's loyalty free or royalty free, and also fits the type of stream you're doing. So it's just so I'm gonna look into that at some point. Because you want something that kind of fits the mood and not like something very bombastic while I'm trying to just have a relatively chill drawing stream here. So we'll figure that out for future streams. Cause I probably will do more of these since its last one went pretty well. This one's going pretty well, and I enjoy them, and it gives me reason to actually draw more. So it's always a good thing. Yeah, man, I might be delaying the cinnamon rolls a little bit because they're a little bit intimidating, but we'll get to those now. Okay, here, put the little logo thing here. Yeah, one of those things I probably have put more thought into if I stream more often. Not yet. I probably have to. What I really have to do is clone my computer off my old hard drive. I think for some reason it won't let Yuzu work, even if I tried reinstalling it. I don't know what the problem is, and also because of what happened to the more recent hard drive that failed, I might have lost like that. I don't think I would have any save data on it. Whereas the one that I replaced back in the fall will have at least most of my save data on there, so I won't have to re-clear everything. I'll have to re-clear, a few maps, but not that many. I didn't do that many streams between October and I think like March. So I'm gonna try a different cloning program out this week, maybe to see if I can get that to work, or I will consult with more computer savvy friends that don't charge me a couple $100 to clone a computer to help out with that. Because I could bring it to the repair guy who fixed it this time, but he would charge me a couple $100 to clone it now, and I'd rather not pay that much. But if I have no other options, I guess I will. But we'll try and do it on my own first. Because it's like a weird problem with the program doesn't want to run right, and I don't know what exactly needs to be done. It's almost like a hat at this point. This other cinnamon roll comes down here. Second one's kind of like a double roll, making me hungrier actually. Watching it, like reading, drawing what looks like food. Yeah, I'll get to that. I'll get back to it hopefully before too long. I have to finish that before consuming plastic does. She's been getting more time to stream Dream Tank Match than I have recently for obvious reasons. So I have to try and beat that before she does. She also draws. I think she's better. Look, if I saw one stream or at least part of one stream, she does much better than I do. So I don't know if she does those regularly or not. I haven't had a lot of time to watch anybody's streams lately. But also, good Girls and Panzer related content stuff. Anime food and also anime hair, apparently. Because if anime hair happens to look like food, it's let's see, this go around, kind of loop in there. Then you get another. This kind of loops around up, more inside. Lots of loops. No, definitely start protesting outside. I could hear it. I guess I don't know if you guys could hear. Another reason I want to add background music to future streams, possibly, because that if there is a noisier protest outside on a given night when I'm streaming, that you have a better chance of not having to hear incoherent yelling in Hebrew out there. But not much I can do about that. I happen to live near the highway where they like to protest. At least I'm not traveling tonight, so I don't have to worry about getting blocked from going anywhere. But it has happened more often than I would like that I get stuck because people want to yell, and it comes with blocking highways, and I don't like it. I don't even care what they're protesting about. Just don't block my highway, please. Like, seriously. I have places to be. I have a gym to go to. You know, I have work to get to sometimes. Okay. It's actually coming out pretty nice. Yeah, let's see if we can do some more. I don't know if I'm going to have time for another full sketch at this point because I'm starting to feel hungrier, and also my arm is starting to get tired from having it held up for this long. So we'll see how much I can do of the body here. Get part of it at least. Like, here we go. There we go. More down like that. Okay. Then we have the little buttons here. Get the proportions right on everything, maybe. Well, they think it's helpful because it gets them a lot of attention, especially on the news. Like, they make the news for sure by doing stunts like that, but then everybody hates that. So even if somebody is, like, potentially on your side for a protest, and you interrupt their day by making them unable to travel somewhere they need to go, they're just going to be mad at you, even if they're not inclined to be mad at you. So there's literally no benefit from it apart from just getting attention in the news and maybe the government attention. But it's like I said, it doesn't matter what they're protesting if I agree with it or not. It's just like whatever it is, I'm gonna be against it now just because it like ruins my day. Like at least 3 times in the last year, I've missed going to the gym a whole week just because of a protest that blocked the highway and I couldn't get anywhere and I couldn't get there on time, and I was not happy, not a happy camper, and it's just gonna make me hate what they're protesting for. I know what it is usually, whether on the day of or afterward, so I'll know if it ever comes to a vote or something. I'm just gonna vote against it out of spite at this point because that's that annoying. Yes, her hand also was kind of up. Let's see if I can draw that. Kind of. That's the wrong angle. My Azerlane commissions are done. I'll check them after the stream is over. That's too short. Maybe. It feels a little short. Maybe not. There we go. And then this the cuff of the sleeve here. The other cuff more out there. I don't know, should I try the hands today? Like, hands are one of those things that are like the scariest thing to try and draw. That's why even the AI has trouble doing that, thankfully, for a lot of artists out there. I think it's getting better at that, unfortunately, but it is still a barrier to entry, whether you're a human or a computer. So I've been putting some extra time to try and practice that a little bit. I'll give it a try in a minute, maybe. Here, I think this should kind of meet here. Right, yeah, that kind of goes down here. Yeah, you have to definitely take up the rest of the stream time anyway if I try and do the hands here. Let's see. It is in some ways easier when I am just going off a direct reference, because I could just follow the lines best I can without even necessarily trying to figure out the hand anatomy on my own. So I don't know if that counts as cheating or not. But obviously, I mean, muscle memory type, so also just getting it in my head, like to just visualize it better, I think, is what using references is also still helpful for, even if you want to eventually wean yourself off of that as an artist, whether you're doing it for fun or for profit. If you're doing it for profit, you definitely want to wean yourself off that because it'll slow you down a lot, and I guess also limit what you could do. Down. Kind of a finger. Kind of looks like one. It's coming out a little bit messy, but trying it by itself is victory enough. That's too wide. Actually, second thought, it's actually not coming out that badly. I don't know. I'm the wrong person to judge what I draw. Because you judge yourself on stuff, either you're too lenient or too harsh every time. There's almost never a middle ground that's good when you try and judge your own work, whether it's writing or drawing or anything. Right number of fingers. So nobody will call this AI because I didn't mess the number of fingers up. Okay, it's actually not bad. I mean, it's messy, but it's not bad. Yeah, it's again the kind of thing, if I wanted to go back to it and spend some more time cleaning it up, I probably could make it look a lot better. But for now, oh no, what did I do? What did I do? Oh, I accidentally opened an ad on the Girls Und Panzer wiki page. Okay, come on. Get me back to my picture here. What are you doing? What are we doing? There we go. Back where we want to be. Okay, good. Good. We'll try and draw the pocket on the uniform jacket here. And that'll probably be as far as we get. Both because of room on the page and also due to time. So yeah, this kind of goes straighter. The pocket. Pocket. Got the button on the pocket. Since I know this is a good uniform, good uniforms are going to have shirt pockets. Best part of army uniforms is that they have lots of pockets. The pants have at least four pockets, if not more. The shirt has another two, because usually they have one on each side. Yeah, these ones here. So it was nice as somebody who likes putting things in pockets all the time. It was definitely a welcome feature of the uniforms back when I was wearing them regularly. There we go. And there we go. Kind of trying to get the same curve here. I mentioned also in one of the videos another reason why I found drawing flat characters is easier. You have less dimensions to worry about for a lot of the art. So there we go. It's actually not too bad. Yeah, it's kind of uniform there. Yeah. Yeah, that come out too bad at all. Again, the neck is probably a little bit too narrow. I probably should have it more like from here, but again, I'm not going to worry about that too much now. Yeah, no wide characters this time. Well, it's exactly an hour, too. Okay, so here was anything else I wanted to show from here that I haven't done yet that I could show off if anyone wants to see. If anybody missed it earlier, in tribute to some of our departed VTubers this week, I spent a couple of days each drawing. Oh, you can't see that. Drawing a couple of them as a little goodbye tribute. So those came out pretty nice. Those I took a lot. You can see this is 3 days to do that. So a lot of time spent on a few little sketches too. That's another Shirobako character sketch I did a few days ago, or actually a week ago at this point. Some hands over there, not that good. Another little Gura sketch. I think I did that at a convention recently. Anything else good here to show off? Some more Mumes a few weeks ago. So yeah, this is better to draw people who are not graduating immediately, so you have more more interactive time with them. But it's still fun. So but yeah, it's like with adding the color does a lot. I might try and get markers at some point soon, maybe to do some of that. We'll see. I don't want to go too far into my into spending money on this stuff. But for now, this is what we wound up with today. Definitely improving from last time. And the setup was a little bit better, even though it's still awkward and still a little bit weird lighting. But I think I will wrap it up here. And obviously, like I said earlier, hopefully I'll be able to get the new video out maybe on Tuesday. Because if it doesn't get copyright claimed by then, I will consider it probably safe. And I lost the cap for this pencil. I'll find it later. So it'll probably be safe if it's not claimed again by then. And obviously, if it does, then I will finish re-editing the one I already worked on that I already started fixing or changing, and hopefully make it acceptable to the powers that be in Japan. and get that out earlier next week, and then maybe something extra, little bonus something next week if I have time for it. Next stream, I don't know exactly when. It will not be next week because next week I have to work Saturday night, and I probably won't have time. Although maybe I'll just see. I'll figure out how the timing will work. So, well, yeah, I'll definitely do one by day 200. Like, I'm not going to wait that long for another one of these. And if I'm going to do a new video update then or not, I'll decide that when we get closer to that milestone day. But definitely we'll do more of these. Like I said, I don't know when it'll be, and hopefully I'll be getting back to Dream Tank match streams as well, so I'll be able to alternate these. Also, I might post a community post on to see if there's any other days that people might be interested in watching a stream, because sometimes weekends aren't the best days for me. Sometimes it's during the week, but obviously the time difference is an issue because I'm like 7 hours ahead of people on the East Coast of the U.S., so I kind of want to try and do them, in the afternoon on a Sunday when, like, or a Saturday when people might, have time to watch, or because trying to do evenings is a little bit difficult because I don't have, I don't want to be up at 3 a.m. on a stream, ideally. But we'll figure it out. I'll figure something out to alternate these streams and also with Dream Tank Match once I get that fixed again and working. So, so that'll be that. Like I said, next week probably won't be a stream. There might be, I'll have to figure out if I feel confident in getting the stream started on time and finish, and then getting out to work without getting too stressed out over that. Otherwise, the next week, maybe the next week after that, I can for sure do one. So in 3 weeks for sure, maybe next week, and probably not in 2 weeks. But again, I'll make an announcement on the channel once I have a better idea of when I'll stream. And again, hopefully, the video that I meant to release on Thursday this past week, will show up by Tuesday this week. But we'll see. I will hope that it doesn't get claimed again and all that. So thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I definitely had fun. I'll post a better picture of it with, without as much shadow on the community post later, so that everyone can see what we did today. Definitely better than last time. No more wide characters. So thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time.